Good evening. So, here we are. It's the White Album. This is a big one. A lot of pictures in here. Oh dear. Okay. So, I've forgotten to buy milk 3 days in a row, and it's I'm pretty ashamed of myself, pretty upset with myself really, because I just wanted a nice reserved coffee to go with this one. It's 8 o'clock now, and I'm being forced to have a black coffee here to sort of keep my energy up a little bit. I'm very tired. It's been a long Monday, but I'm doing it for you guys. I'm gonna keep the roll on. I've done one tier list a day so far since Friday, so we're on Monday now. We're doing the fourth one. I've done it. This is gonna be a big one. I might have to split it into two. I don't know. I mean, hold on. Let's just figure this out first. Are we gonna split it into two? Because I'm in the right place here. If we finish, because if we split into two, we're gonna do the first two halves and then the second two halves. Well, no, the first half and the second half. First 2 quarters, second 2 quarters. If we finish on Julia, well, I'm certainly not going to start a video talking about birthday. It's just not something I want to do. It's not something I see in my future. However, I could start one on Yer Blues. I could sneak birthday at the end of this video and then start on Yer Blues. But then have we got enough to speak about here after that? It's not as many songs, is it? So you got 13 there against 17 here. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I don't want this video to end up being sort of 2.5 hours long, because I don't know. It's a bit of overkill, isn't it? But I don't know. I mean, you can do that sort of thing on YouTube. I'm really into Star Wars, and I watch a guy called I watch a few guys when it comes to Star Wars, but there's a guy called Mauler who I really like, and he does Star Wars film reviews. His review of I think it was The Last Jedi was 7.5 hours long. He split it over three episodes. For a 2-hour film, not even that. So maybe we could do that. Maybe we could do an 8-hour review of the White Album. I don't think I'd have it for that. But all right, bit of background. So they went to. I've kept these here at the top because I will forget both of these words. I won't forget transcendental meditation, but that's what the Beatles were doing at the ashram Rishikesh with the Maharishi Yogi. They did this previous to the album. They sort of went to go and meditate and write a couple of songs there, maybe find a little bit of inner peace, open their minds a bit, and they all came back, massively egotistical, addicted to drugs, bullies. And yeah, I just don't think that whole experience really improved the band at all. If anything, it made them fall apart a little bit. And we'll talk about that as we go through it. But man, it's been. I read a bit into some of this ashram Rishikesh and the Maharishi and sort of their experiences there. And there's a lot of negative things that have come from it, really. This whole album's just crazy. I mean, when you read into some of the stuff that was happening and that. But we'll start anyway. We'll get started. So back in the USSR, yeah, in the USSR. That's a good song. It's a good opener, isn't it? You sort of use the hammer and sickle thing. I hope I don't get in trouble for using this. This is just because it's the USSR and it's kind of like Soviet Union thing. And that's just the image you would use. I'm not trying to say anything by using it, but yeah, it's a good opener. It's like a play on Back in the USA by Chuck Berry, so which is kind of fun. There's a bit that Paul does in the song where it's like back in the US, back in the US, back, and I always thought that's kind of like he's like keeping you on the line. He goes, "You're gonna say USA." He's going to say USA this time, and he goes, America, the USSR. He just does it anyway. He's just like, yeah, that's funny. It's got a good energy, I think. We talk about energy, don't we? But I always talk about energy. But that's what you want from your first song. You want some sort of energy, and that doesn't mean that it has to be upbeat or powerful in any way. It just means that it has to be distinct and have a good feel to it, and bring you into the album well. And it does that. It's not slaps. it's not album. I'm gonna say album defining, but what really is gonna be album defining on this album, because it's not a mess, but it's just all over the place, isn't it? I mean, there's some really, really good songs, and there's some like really, really not good songs on it. So we'll keep moving. I think we'll try and be a little bit snappier with some of these reviews. Although I can't really move on without talking about this song a little more. So Paul McCartney wrote this song, and he sings it really well. And he plays his guitar really well. He plays the drums really well. Hold on, what did he say? What did Jordan say there? He plays the drums really well. That's Ringo's thing, isn't it? Yeah, you would think so. But no, Paul. So Paul, they'd finished their day in the studio, and everyone was sort of walking away, leaving for the evening to go take drugs and and do whatever they need to do. And Paul McCartney very sneakily sort of hooked over the keys off the back of the janitor's pants as they're walking out the door. Snuck in later in the evening and erased Ringo's drums and made his own. And obviously everyone came back in the morning, and they're going, all right, guys, what should we do today? And Ringo's like, oh, can we listen to that U.S.S.R? Can we listen to that song again? I want to just hear that back, and then we'll crack on. What was that thing you're doing, George? Gently Weeps, the guitar thing. And he's like, yeah, I'll do that. And Paul's like, oh no, let's just do something else. Let's go and do that George's thing. Actually, should we just get straight into that? And everyone's like, no, come on, just Ringo wants to listen to the song. Come on, let's put it on. Paul McCartney's a bit worried and that, and then they put the song on. And Ringo starts to visibly get upset and confused. John's goes, "What's wrong with you, Ringo?" And he says, "Those aren't the drums that I recorded. Someone's redone the drums." Paul stands up and goes, "Yeah, I did. Your drums weren't good enough for my song. I've decided to do them on my own." You can just imagine, like, Ringo's just, "It's the only damn thing I do in the band, Paul. I sing the occasional song and I might write the occasional one, but man, that's the only thing I do is play the percussion. Why have you behaved like this?" And they fell out for a bit. Ringo left the band briefly and just sort of went away. And I don't know, they all banded together eventually, bought me like a big bouquet of flowers and put them around the studio to make it up to him. But Paul should be ashamed of himself. He's a big bully on this album. He bullies someone else out the studio at one point, and we'll get to that. I can't remember what song. I might remember what song actually. But what's the silly thing to do? I want to put it in trash because of that behaviour. But I'm going to rate the song on sort of its own merits rather than the behaviour of some of the musicians on it. So yeah, Paul, nasty pasty. Dear Prudence. Dear Prudence is really nice, isn't it? I think it was about Mia Farrow's sister or Mia Farrow's daughter. I think it's her sister. So there were a couple of people on this retreat. There are probably more names than I've picked up, but it's obviously the Beatles. I've read Mia Farrow and her sister was there. Donovan was there. And they all kind of have their little parts to play in some of these stories on this album. But Dear Prudence is written about Mia Farrow's sister, who was maybe taking the meditation a little too seriously and becoming kind of a recluse for it. And this song is just a little bit about sort of, like, won't you come and play? Hey, the sun is out. Beautiful, and so are you, dear Prudence. He's just trying to write a nice, lovely song for her. Try and bring her out of a shell a bit. Try and get her back involved with the rest of the group. There's too many pictures. Too many pictures here. I think it's that one, isn't it? It's what's this person's name? Jane Seymour as something McIntyre. Oh, Prudence McIntyre, that was the point. Yeah, Dear Prudence. Prudence McIntyre from the film Dear Prudence. Played by Jane Seymour. Never seen it. I'd actually never heard of it until I Googled it. But it was the only way I could actually really think about putting an image to this song. But it's one of the nice ones. Whenever that comes on, I'm always really enjoy it. And it's just like a classic happy Beatles song. Which is nice to hear on an album full of very individual pieces of music. That you have one that's kind of just like, this sounds like the Beatles when they were working together a lot more, and it's nice to listen to. Okay, It's beautiful, and so are you. It's kind of similar to Mother Nature's Son in the way that it's written as well, which is nice. It's like, what's the word? It's just kind of spiritual and transcendent in a way that, like, you know, these are the kind of lyrics they went to go and meditate for, that they come out with things like this. I mean, the sky is blue and the sun is nice or whatever. They're not particularly nice, but, you know, put against music like it is in this song, and especially Mother Nature's Son's really good. That's one of my favourite songs on the album. We'll get to that though. But yeah, it's a good song, isn't it? I like it. I think it slaps. I don't think it'll be top slaps. I don't think it'll be anywhere near top slaps, but you know, I always enjoy it when it's on. Looking through a glass onion. This was written to, I think there's a line in it that's written to confuse people. So John was getting a bit annoyed, or well, I don't know why he'd get annoyed about it, but he was kind of a bit just not interested in the fact that some Beatles fans and critics were looking too deep into their lyrics and going, you know, there's all this little weird Beatles lore, and Paul's dead, and this, that, and the other. And I think he just wanted to confuse people a bit. There's a line in it where he says that Walrus was Paul, and in like loads of interviews after this, he was just like, I only said it to mess with people, like, I'm not that bothered. And there were a couple of other, you know, I mentioned The Fool and the Hill, they mentioned Strawberry Fields, and I think he's just trying to mess with people's heads and try and just confuse people. I don't think there was much more to that. And it's one of those songs that's like a callback to older material. Like David Bowie does it a little bit in his later career. Elton John does it a little bit in his later career. You know, I think musicians get to a point, and it's not like a point of stardom, but it's more a point when you've got a big collection of music that you can start dipping into older stuff. You start dipping into some of your older material or different material, and building, you know, these little intertwining lines between songs and between albums, and creating these sort of miniature, I don't know, stories or themes for the listener. It is for the listener to go with the David Bowie idea. You've got what is it? It's the spaceman. What's his name? Ground Control, Major Tom. You know, I think there's this whole thing about Major Tom actually being a heroin addict. You know, in this one song, he's this heroic spaceman who's going to space to do something. In another one, he's like this junkie. And, you know, it's putting these ideas together and throwing them around. And he kind of does that a bit in here. It's one of those songs about your songs sort of deal. And it's kind of a cool thing. You know, the lyrics are kind of fun in this one. It's probably banger, isn't it? Also, when I was in college, I went to a college called Llanriclo, in Wales, and there was a cafe around the corner called the Glass Onion, which was kind of cool. You know, kind of nice to have a little thing like that, little Beatles theme thing, so close to where you're kind of learning about music and that. So that was nice. And obviously the name of the song, Glass Onion. I guess when you look into a glass onion, that things are a little bit distorted because of a weird shape. It's a very sort of straight review of that one. But yeah, it's good. I mean, the instrumental's good. There's some really good strings in it that are kind of a bit off sounding. I just like it. I think it's a good song. I never used to like it, but that was before I don't know, I guess I listened to it properly. I always just skipped it or didn't pay attention. But when I paid attention, I thought, this is quite fun, actually. I think quite a bit of effort went into that one. Obla Di Obla, life goes on. Whoa. It's that one, isn't it? It's simply trash, isn't it? I had an even worse picture of Paul than that, but it was downloading as a WEPM, which is like a web picture. Which is kind of, I don't know. I think it's a link to a website, but it shows as a picture, and I couldn't use it on the tier list. And it was hilarious. I probably could have put the time in to convert it into a JPEG or PNG or whatever, but I just couldn't be bothered. So I just found this other one. It's kind of like a bit of a gimpy photo of him, I suppose. He looks a bit menacingly silly. We were talking a bit before about Paul McCartney being a big fat bully. Paul's my favourite Beatle as well. Yeah, rather going in on him here. But he is. I mean, he's just a big fat bully. He had a go at the engineer on this track on Obla Di Obla. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in this song. There's a lot of sort of little bits of sound effects thrown in, laughing, clinking of glasses, and all that. And there's even more than that. You know, there's these little whack sounds and stuff like cartoon sounds. And don't know. He's on a bit of a path of perfectionism on this album with some of the stuff he does, and I think the engineer on this one, Jeff Emmerich. Yeah, that's right. I've wrote Jeff Emmerich here. Paul was saying it, the stuff he was coming up with wasn't good enough, and he wasn't putting the effort in. And Jeff Emmerich walked out and said, "I'm getting sick of you, Paul. You had to go with Ringo the other week and replaced his drums. Now you're having a go at me for not engineering your song well enough." I mean, when Paul does his original, when he leaves the Beatles, I mean, originally John left the Beatles first, but Paul was the one that kind of told everyone. Paul went on and did his first album, and it's not very well engineered. It's not very well produced. It's he could have done with someone like Jeff Emmerich. He could have done with someone like George Martin. So I don't know. You got to be careful with who you're having a go at here. And Jeff Emmerich, it takes some balls that you're working with the biggest band in the world, and you're getting so annoyed with someone that you walk out. You go, I can't even work with you anymore. He must have been really doing his head in, because that's a big thing to walk away from, isn't it? He did come back though. They always do. I wrote here, Simon and Garfunkel would have done this better, and I stand by that. Let's look at the lyrics. I just imagine them doing this better. I just think that they would have pulled it off. I just imagine their voices doing it, because they're a bit more silly, aren't they? They can pull off silly better, shall I say? Because they're not a silly band. I don't know why I'm typing in Simon and Garfunkel. Obla. I wonder how far I have to get it in. Obla Di. Yeah, it'd have to be just Obla Di. Obla Di Obla Da, life goes on. Whoa. Desmond has a barrow in the marketplace. Molly has a singer in the band. Honestly, man, I did. The Simon Garfunkel would have done this better, and he wouldn't have done these silly things. How life goes on. He wouldn't have done Obla Di Obla Da. He would have come up with something better than that. In a couple of years, they have built a home sweet home. It's not like it's not catchy. It's just not good. It's just, again, it's Paul being maybe a little too much. Just a little bit too lame, probably. But also, I think he has one of the best songs on the album. So we'll keep going. I just don't like Obla Di Obla Da, and I think that's the last time he's a bully. We don't spread misinformation. He certainly did steal the keys off the janitor. He certainly did sneak back in at 5. These are all true facts. It's funny. Yeah, he's not a bully, is he? He's obviously, I think he means well. He just wants perfection out of the Beatles, and that's it. But you got to draw a line somewhere. You can't go bullying people, can you? You can't go saying nasty things. Okay, man, I'm down to my last pieces of paper here. I did like a big, kind of like a weekly shop today. I've been thinking all day. I need to get some paper. And I just completely forgot. When it's the main thing that you need. I found a book in the back of my wardrobe because I only recently moved house only about 2 weeks ago. I just threw a bag of stuff in the back of the wardrobe, and I found another book in there that I can write in. And it was, funnily enough, it was a book from when I worked at a debt collection centre briefly, and there was some horrible, harrowing, thoughts when I was reading through some of that. I didn't read through it, but I just saw it, and I had a couple of flashbacks of working at that place. Damn, that was a bad job. I'm going to give you a bit of life advice here. If you're in the mid-20s. If you're just looking, for something, obviously you've got your passions and stuff that you want to follow, and maybe a career path that you've got in mind. But if you think, let me just take a year or two to just do sort of an office job and get a bit of money behind me. Whatever you do, don't go into like the debt collection business. It's awful. That was just my way of thinking. I'd already sort of done office kind of job. I was working in accommodation, and I sort of stepped away from it. I thought I need to get a new job and work in it. I need to just get another office job because it's quite a comfortable sort of way to live, and you get decent money from it. And I got this job in this agency, and I remember going in, and I was doing my training and that, and they brought one of the big bosses in, and he was like, doing this like presentation to us, sort of talking about the role and that. And he goes, Yeah, the coronavirus epidemic has been hard on everyone, and it's really sort of tearing down the world. Everyone's having sort of a bad time with it. Not us though, not us in the debt collection business. We're a booming business. We're having a great time, and if you stick at the job and you do this and do that, you'll go very far. You'll make a lot of damn money. And I was just thinking, man, how are you turning this? Like, how are you speaking like this? Have you no soul? Have you no pride or soul or what? It was horrible. And obviously, some of the conversations I had to have with people, it was unbelievable. You just targeting these vulnerable people and taking the last bits of money they have left. And you expected to, sit there and do that all day. I used to hate getting up and going to that place. It was like, why get up to go and do that all day? I quit that job pretty damn quickly. Off point, isn't it? Always going off point. Wild honey pie. It's just the picture of the pie, because the normal one, honey pie, is that really nice one that Paul McCartney does. This is the awkward thing again. I want to put it there, but there is in no world that honey pie is better than an actual realised song, because honey pie is just a 30-second long piece of nonsense. Although it's a piece of nonsense that I think is quite interesting. I think it sounds interesting, but it's not as good as a fully realised song. I think you have to give it that. If this was Sun King, then I would put it above it, without a doubt. But if you don't get my little Sun King joke, go back and go and watch the Abbey Road one. But I suppose you wouldn't watch the Abbey Road one before watching this one if you're going to watch them chronologically. So, I don't know, you're getting a bit of a pre-joke there. You're getting a bit of a spoiler, I suppose, because you kind of know what's going to happen with Sun King. Yeah, you look forward to that video. If this is the first one you're watching, right? The first one you're watching, you're thinking, man, he does Abbey Road after this. Sun King gets a good kick in, I'll give you that. Yeah, I mean, wild honey pie is just nonsense, isn't it? It's there was a word I saw when I was reading a bit about it. Inconsequential. I thought that's such a funny word to say about it as a critic. It's a very inconsequential song. It basically means it's pointless and useless, which it is. And I think if it was on the end of something, or if it was part of a song, it could have just been a 10-second part of a song twice, of a 2.5-minute song, and it would have been fine. Would have fit in a damn medley on the Abbey Road album. But just 5 songs into the album, you're starting to get a feel for what the album's maybe a bit about. They're all doing a bit of their own thing, but so far we've had a couple of solid songs, apart from, I suppose, Obla Di Obla Da. But I mean, it's still got a nice energy to it. It's just not a very good song, and I suppose you'd be forgiven for thinking it's a nice song the first time you listen to it. It's only when you listen to it on further hearings you realise that it's actually pretty poo. But yeah, Wild Honey Pie is just this I think it's 25 seconds long. It's all Paul as well. He actually locks himself in a room for this one and there's no other Beatles are on this. It's the only track where no other Beatle does anything on it. It's just this weird sounding honey pie, honey pie, honey pie, and then a little bit of weird guitar, and I think the guitar sounds interesting. I think the instrumental sounds interesting, but not as a standalone piece for 25 seconds or 40 seconds or whatever it is. It's just trash, and it'll probably be the most rubbish song on the album, because even Revolution 9, I mean, I'm going to tell you now, I don't like Revolution 9, but at least it's time and effort has been put into it, as opposed to this. So I mean, that's the pitch for Revolution 9. Simpsons fans surely get that. It's hilarious. Barney's playing John Lennon in this kind of parody of the whole White Album, and it's he's going more into experimental stuff, and they're like, "What's this?" It's number 9, number 9. He keeps burping. It's so funny. It's such a funny bit on The Simpsons. The Simpsons is hilarious. Okay, but Wild Honey Pie out of the way. Inconsequential. I love that word. should I Wikipedia the lyrics? Probably not. Not worth it. Bungalow Bill, I really like. Hey, Bungalow Bill, oh, what did you kill? Bungalow Bill. It moves around a lot quite well. I think it's better than Glass Onion. I don't think it's as good as back in the USSR. I think that's a nice place for it for now. We'll look at the lyrics for that. We'll keep that up because we want to look at that sometimes. Hey, Bungalow Bill, oh, what did you kill? Bungalow Bill, bum 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 bum. Oh, I'm tired. I'm sorry. That probably sounded disgusting. Deep in the jungle where the mighty tiger lies, Bill and his elephants were taken by surprise. So Captain Marvel zapped him right between the eyes. All the children sing, hey, Bungalow Bill. And he's just got some interesting ideas. It was, I think it was about when they were at the Ashram Rishikesh with the Maharashi. There was a guy who lived at the temple or lived at the palace or whatever who would go out most days shooting tigers. And John Lennon just thought it was an interesting thing. Like, oh man, he's going out and shooting tigers. He goes out on an elephant to do it. This is very different to what I know from growing up in Liverpool or touring in the US. Very, very different from what I've seen before. And that's kind of the thing you go to these places to see. So that's as like a positive experience, is that he's come up with this very, very unique song off the back of seeing something very unique to his sort of outlook on life and what he's seen so far in his life. And it's a fun song when the kids come in. I don't know whether it's kids or whether it's just Yoko, loads of Yoko vocals at the end. Hey, Bungalow Bill. And it's always you've got John there as well, but there's a distinct a falsetto too, and I don't know whether it's kids and Yoko or just Jonah doing quite a couple of vocals. It's cold, man. I was saying in the last video I was getting a cold. I haven't felt it all day. As soon as I sit down to do a damn video, it's just like just getting dead cold. Sorry, just a bit more of my coffee there. But yeah, I like the song. I think it's fun. It's imaginative. There's a lot of stuff there's a lot of visions you get, not visions, but like images, a lot of imagery to it, in the way that it's written. And you can kind of see the things. I don't get that Captain Marvel zapped him right between the eyes. I don't get that bit, but his mummy butted in. It's a fun song. I like the hook of the chorus. I think that the verses are nice, and the and the song in general is just quite nice. It is quite cool, isn't it? It's a quite cool song, and I think I'll put it in banger. I really don't know what is really going to fit into filler. We'll probably end up, banger's probably going to get full, and we're going to start dropping stuff down to filler when we start to get an idea of what's happening. I almost want to put... No, Bungalow Bill is not as good as USSR, or is it? Because it's more unique than USSR, isn't it? It's a more unique song, but, you know, USSR is just a really good version of a song that's already been done. You know, that's what, you know, it makes you think there's a lot to consider. Well, my guitar gently weeps. I think that's just the picture of George playing his guitar. It's the best song so far, isn't it? Yeah, it's well good. It is well good. I'll get the lyrics up for that one for sure. While my guitar gently weeps. Eric Clapton's on it. While my guitar gently weeps. And you know why he's on it? Because the other Beatles didn't want to play with George on this one. They were just kind of... I don't know. I read that George kind of just did most of this with Eric or on his own. And that the other Beatles kind of weren't interested in his song about the guitar. You know, it just goes to show. Probably Paul at the forefront of that. You know, bullying again. I've bullied the engineer, I've bullied Ringo. He sat there with John going, you know, George is going to get it now. No, we don't want to play on your silly song about a guitar crying or whatever it is. It's silly, stupid. You're a big bully. But yeah, it's a really nice song, isn't it? I think I always thought, I don't think this is the correct way to, well, there's no correct way to interpret a song, is there? I mean, there's obviously a way that the person wrote it, and there is, and how they want it to be interpreted. But I don't think you can listen to a song and think, well, I've interpreted completely wrong, so I'm bad for doing that. I used to interpret this as a song about songwriting. I thought that this was George, sorry, writing a song about writing a song and about sort of how you feel when you write a song. You know, he's writing a sad song, and his guitar's weeping, and his guitar's sounding sad. And I thought that's what the song was about that process. But I don't think it is. It's supposed to be a bit more religious than that, and it's supposed to be about the lack of like unanimous love in the world or something. I think I read it was that, like, although as a population, as a planet, we have the ability to just get on and love each other, that we just can't, and we don't quite reach that thing. You know, I don't know how you were diverted. You were perverted too. I don't know how you were inverted. No one alerted you. I look at, that's not how it goes. While my guitar gently weeps. This is some of the best guitar on a Beatles record as well. You know, George is just such a good songwriter. He really starts to come out of his shell. I don't even know if it's as far back as Rubber Soul that he's writing good songs on. I'd have to look at Rubber Soul again, because I don't remember a lot of the songs on that one. But even here, he's done the best song so far on the album. Best song on side one. Although Happiness is a Warm Gun's pretty damn good. That's going to be a close one actually at the top there. They're really good songs. Happiness is a warm gun. Shoot, shoot, happiness. But as I say, Eric Clapton did a bit of stuff on it, and everyone who doesn't know the story of Eric Clapton and George Harrison, I mean, they were like kind of Bezos. Bezies. BF, is it BFM? Best friend? No, BFF, sorry. What's BFM? Oh, no, I don't know what BFM is. But, no, I do know what BFM is. I just didn't want to say it. But BFM was a thing that me and my friends made up in uni. It was called backup friendship money, because we were all useless alcoholics at uni, and we would spend all our damn student loans straight away. So we started asking each other for backup friendship money, which was just a quick loan off each other when we needed it. We called it BFM. But yeah, George and Eric Clapton were BFFs for a little while, and then Eric Clapton stole his damn wife, and Paul was behind the whole thing. Paul talked him into it. So Paul sort of said, "Eric, you need to go and do that, especially on the White Album, because I'm on a rampage." It's not true. Paul didn't do that. Eric Clapton though did not steal. Didn't like put his wife. Didn't take George Harrison's wife into the back of his car or anything. And drive her out to the woods. Like he just wooed her away from George, and they actually continued to be friends. George, being as sort of religious and grounded as he was very much the spiritual Beatle, was kind of like that as his life, you know, the love that is lost, and so on, and just kind of was like okay with it, and would go and hang out with them. I just think that's crazy. I mean, it's really cool. I think it'd be great to be that sort of grounded and not actually sort of give in to these feelings of you know, I don't know, it's just crazy. I think it's really cool. We done Bungalow, Bill. Done Guitar Gently Weeps. Oh, we're doing all right for time, aren't we? Are we? Where are we? Side one has taken us 34 minutes. It's going to be a 2-hour video, boys. We're on. Well, my guitar. No, we're not. We've just done that one. Happiness is a Warm Gun. What picture will this be? The picture of a warm gun. I am going to put it there for now, but I'm going to get the lyrics up again because I really enjoyed the song. It's happiness is a warm gun. I just think it's a really like stylistically cool song. It's like split into 3 parts, isn't it? I think. She's not a girl who misses much. Do-do-do-do-do. She's well acquainted with the touch. and I can't remember. Then it goes to I need a fix 'cause I'm going down. What's this? Oh, a soap impression of his wife, which he ain't, and donated to the National Trust. It just moves really cool. It's got like really cool melodies to it. Juxtaposing melodies to it because you got these really unusual song. I need a fix 'cause I'm going down to the pits that I left. And the lyrics are a bit dirty here. They're not dirty as in like lewd, but like dirty as in like grimy and unusual. On his hobnail boots. Like a lizard on a window, like a lizard on a window banner. You can tell when I like a song because I just start singing every damn line that I say. But my eyes are bouncing around like that and just reading every single bit. And it jumps into this bit. Mother Superior jumped the gun. Mother Superior jumped the gun. And it's just a really like cool song that moves around really well. And then you've got the end bit. Happiness is a warm gun. And then the backing vocals are smart. Bang, bang, shoot, shoot. And then he does a bit of a screaming bit. It was not screaming, but he kind of takes it down to a talking range. And I don't know whether I'll be able to do this with the call that I've got coming on. So we'll give it a go. At the end, I just love the last bit where he's like, happiness is a yes it is. No, that's not right. Happiness is a warm yes it is. Roller coaster for it, and it's well good. I actually like this song a lot. I think it's my favourite song on the album actually so far. I always love when this song comes on. I'm going to put it above that. I don't know. It's so weird when you're considering these two against each other. I might have to mess with this later, but like this, the George Harrison one is this big transcendental song about life and like the world and how we could do better and how he feels about it all and stuff. And then this one's just the actual story behind the song is that George Martin had a magazine in the studio that day, or one day, that was called like the American Rifleman or something like that. It was just a gun magazine, and John's just reading it and picking bits and bobs out of it that he finds interesting. One of the lines was "Happiness is a warm gun." John thought that's hilarious because that means that you've just shot it. So you must have just shot someone or something, and you finding like a happiness out of it. He just found it really silly and weird. And he's just pulling all these little bits out of it, making lyrics. It's just something that John does. I think he's good at like quite a lot of songs that you read about John in the Beatles is that he was just reading this article or he was just on the bus and saw this poster, and it's stuff like that. He's good at doing it. He's good at taking pretty mundane things like a gun magazine and making a whole song out of it. It's my favourite song so far. Does it mean that it should be at the top of the list? Probably not. This might bias coming in again, but we'll think about it. We'll have to do a little bit of think about it later on. So I'm on 40 minutes in. 40 minutes in, and I'm one page out of 7 in to my brief notes. So, hey Bungalow Bill. Oh, tell you what, that was the end of that actual page. So we've got 6 pages left. 5, 6, 5. Martha, my dear. Okay, got lyrics up for this. Martha, my dear, you have always been my inspiration. Please remember me. Martha, my dear, don't forget me. Do-do-do-do. Hold your head up, you silly girl. Look what you've done when you bend yourself in the thick of it. Silly girl, do-do-do-do-do-do, silly girl. Alright. Yeah. Molly May Haig's a pretty silly girl, isn't she? So I thought I'd choose her for the picture. I prefer this over... Do I prefer it over Dear Prudence? Silly girl. Alright, for anyone who doesn't know, I just have to cover it because you're thinking, why is it, who's this girl? She was on season season 5 of Love Island. One of the greatest shows on TV. Man, I've had the misfortune of having to watch, I think it was 2 seasons of that with an ex. Oh, it's just gossip, isn't it? It's just like granularized, fermented gossip on screen, and it's just the worst type of entertainment. But that's not why she's silly. I mean, I guess she's silly for being on it, but she's also silly for being on a radio program. It was towards the end of last year or the start of this. I think it was towards the end of last year, and she was just doing it on this radio thing, and she made this statement as if to say, I've been successful because I use my 24 hours a day more productively than others, and that everyone has the same 24 hours in the day. No, they don't. No, they certainly do not. People don't have the same opportunities as other people do. Some people aren't raised in the same way as other people are, and it was just a pretty outrageous and misthought out statement by her. I don't know whether she might regret it now and think that. I think it's the way she said it as well was kind of like she felt very confident that she was coming up with this really clever idea that was gonna like change people's opinions on their hard work and how you deserve things. She was born. I think she was born into a rich family and has got a business handed down to her by her dad. So no doubt that she probably works quite hard in her day to day. But you can't say that you're successful because you use your 24 hours better than other people do. Better than kids in Africa or kids in Kenya who have no choice but to walk 18 miles to get water every day, or work in sweatshops, or forced to work in sweatshops every day. So yeah, it's pretty silly, pretty silly girl. Martha, my dear, you have always been my inspiration. Please be good to me. Oh, I love this song. I really do. Sorry, I got a bit off course. I started to get angry at that, but I do get angry at people who don't understand basic stuff like that. You can't be born into, loads of money and things given to you and then talk down to people. I'm better than you because I work harder than you. No, you don't. You don't work harder than me. You just, silver spoon. But I love this song. I love the piano. I love the melody. This is why I get so confused with Paul. I mean, because he's like, sometimes he's the best Beatle and sometimes he's the worst. And it's probably because he's the most creative Beatle. He's got so much in him to put out there. And so much music that he wants to make and so many things that he wants to create that you are going to find that some things are going to be absolute shite and some things are going to be really good and some things are going to be very middling. This one's one of his good ones. I did a really negative noise then because I was thinking of a song not long after this one that's really, really rubbish by Paul. But this one's a really good one. I love the lyrics. I love the... I don't really know what it's about, Martha, my dear. I really don't. And sometimes you don't need to know what a song is about. I just really like the way it sounds and the way the lyrics flow with each other. It's a really good one. Silly girl, do 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 do. I mean, can we figure it out? Don't forget me, Martha, my dear. Look what you've done when you find yourself in the thick of it. I love the instrumentation. I always I've said a few times in my videos now, sort of static brass or, these big brass moments. I wouldn't say it's big brass, but just this boom, boom, boom. I love when brass does that, and it does in this. Hold your head up, and it's just boom, hold, boom, 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 boom. It just keeps it moving along, and it's got a nice sort of feel to it. It is cool. But yeah, that's that one for me. I think is it a better song than While My Guitar Gently Weeps? Like, we didn't even speak about the solo in that. I mean, when I say speak about, all that there is to say is that it's an amazing solo. It's really well done. I think it's a bit of George and a bit of Eric on that one. I keep calling him Eric. Who calls Eric Clapton Eric? They call him Clapton. I don't know why I keep calling him Eric. I think I'm gonna swap this because that makes more sense. I like Martha, my dear, a lot. I don't like Molly Haig though. Really don't. I don't even know if that's her name. I think it is. I think that's the way it's pronounced. Um, Hold your head up, you silly girl. Look what you've done. I'm so tired. It's a John Lennon one. I'm feeling so upset. I'm so tired. I'll have myself a cigarette. It's very relatable, isn't it? I like it. I think I like it than more than U.S.S.R. Let's get the lyrics up. I was hoping not to do this that often in this one, but I think it's fun to look at the lyrics. I'm so tired. I wonder if this will be a Skepta song too. I haven't slept a wink. I'm so tired. My mind is on the blink. So I think he wrote this about Yoko, and he was having a. I think it was about he'd been there for 3 weeks, and he was already sort of losing his mind, not being around Yoko for more than 2 minutes, and it's just like. It's a bit lame, but I mean the actual song. I think a lot of people have been through this. You know, yeah. It always felt to me like a breakup, and he can't stop thinking about her or it, and he needs to just get hold of it, and he needs to get over it or whatever he needs to do. But he's just depressed. He's not feeling very good about himself, and I always thought it was a really good idea, the song, the way that he's put that feeling into a song. Sorry. Because it's a very basic theme that's been done a million times, but I think he's done it really well with this one. There's a really cool bit in it. Again, I think I can't. I'm going to ruin future videos by saying this because again, if you're watching it chronologically now, there's a bit I say about Polythene Pam about the accents and stuff like that, and he does a very cool thing here, sort of a turn of phrase. I'm so tired, I'll have another cigarette and curse old Walter Riley. He was such a stupid get. It's the way he puts the energy into the word get. Such a stupid get. No. You'd say I'm putting you on, but it's no joke. You're doing me harm, you know I can't sleep. I'm up in my brain, you know, for 3 weeks. I'm going insane, you know. I'll give you everything I got for a little peace of mind. I know, really cool build up. I like the song. I think it's cool. Sky, not so tired. More sad. More sad for sure. But I like it. I think it's a top banger. You know, this is the point where I'm looking at Glass Onion and going, actually looks a lot better down there. I think Glass Onion's gonna go down there. Yeah, and then we'll think about that later. Dear Prudence is so nice. I feel bad for it being behind. I can't keep going to call it Molly May Haig. Martha, my dear. But we'll keep moving on. We gotta finish it. We gotta finish this before midnight because I need to get. I had 3.5 hours sleep last night. I mean, I'm really not feeling very well today. You know, Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you're only waiting for this moment to arise. Blackbird cry, fly. Blackbird fly into the do. It's a really nice one, isn't it? I think it comes off I'm So Tired really well as well. Nice sort of different vibes here. Blackbird's just a really nice acoustic song, isn't it? Really nice acoustic song. If you get into your finger picking, it was one of the first finger picking songs I ever learned. Probably the first. No, I think I learned a Nick Drake one first, maybe, or an Elliott Smith one. So I was a bit into sort of depressing acoustic music for a while. Although that's not what I'm going to term Elliott Smith and Nick Drake, because they were way more than that. But at the time, I was just kind of, you know, when you like an emo but not an emo, you're just into like being sad. And I was into Elliott Smith and Nick Drake and stuff like that, and I think I learned a lot of finger picking off them before I did Blackbird. But yeah, Blackbird's just a good song, isn't it? It's just a good one. Paul McCartney showing that he can write a good guitar riff, he can write nice lyrics. And I think it was literally a song about a blackbird that he saw at the ashram. Just saw a blackbird and thought, that's a nice little blackbird there. I'll write a little song about that. He does see another animal later on in the album, and writes a song about it. Not as good, and if anything, it might even be the worst song on the album. Might even be worse than Honey Pie. Yeah. I don't have a lot more to say about it. It's a nice one, isn't it? I mean, when you learn it, it's a really clever little riff. And the lyrics are just really nice, and the harmonies are nice. It just sounds like a good Beatles song. I feel like it could fit on one of the earlier albums, like maybe Before a Hard Day's Night, when they're doing kind of their like gushy love ballad sort of things that are a bit more calm. It'd fit there with maybe some drums or something, but it fits well on this album, I think, as a little standalone song. Piggies, ugh. I don't know, because the song's good. I just don't know though. Because isn't it like, it's like an anti-establishment thing. We've got one of those anyway. We've got Revolution 1, which is also anti-establishment. A lot of different themes. There's no theme to this damn album. The theme is like isolating yourselves from each other and doing whatever the hell you want. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty basic theme, isn't it, with the Piggies? It's I think it has to go in. I think it has to go in filler. I'm gonna put it in filler for now, but I'll think about it. But like, it's anti-establishment. The idea is that the pigs are like the people in government and the sort of hierarchy and stuff like that, and just sort of rolling around in the mud and getting what they want. And the lyrics, I mean, they get the lyrics up for it, so I know what I'm talking about. I've always known that it's an anti-establishment song, but I don't really know why. Piggies. Have you seen the bigger piggies in their starched white shirts? You will find the bigger piggies stirring up the dirt. Always have clean shirts to play around in. And everywhere there's lots of piggies living piggy lives. It's fun, isn't it? It's a fun song. You can see them out for dinner with their piggy wives. I mean, is it about Animal Farm? Is it about George Orwell's Animal Farm? Because it sounds similar. I mean, you've got these pigs here that are just kind of innocent pigs that are just playing around in the dirt, and then it slowly gets to ones where they're in shirts and they've got forks and knives and they're eating bacon, hilariously. In their eyes, there's something whacking. What they need's a damn good whacking. Is it? It's George, isn't it? Or is it John? It's George. It's a George Harrison one. I don't know. When I was younger, I guess I thought it was a bit of a stupid song. But when I listened to it this week a few times, I listened to this album about 4 times today at work, because I just wanted to. I didn't want a repeat of my Beach Boys video where I'm literally having to go on Wikipedia every 2 minutes. But I'm still having to do it on this video. Anyway, so what does it matter? But yeah, Piggies, I just felt like it was pointless. I just remember it being like a 1-minute song that was about nothing. But really, it's like the Baroque kind of thing. It's a funny, very different instrumental, quite orchestral, and it has like an unusual, like sort of what's the word? I think with Baroque music is supposed to be sort of outside of the box, sort of a mix between classical and pop elements, and it is kind of like that. So maybe it does go up here. Maybe it's as good as Bungalow Bill. I think that's right, and it is supposed to be. I mean, I was going on about anti-establishment. That's what I read into it when I was looking at it the other day. But it just reminds me of. I was going to say 1984. It just reminds me of Animal Farm by George Orwell, really, more than anything. What is next? But yeah, it's an alright song, isn't it? It's alright. Maybe I think I'd say it's on the same level as Bungalow Bill. Kind of a similar song. Rocky Raccoon's probably coming up kind of soon, isn't it? Oh, is the next one? Well, banger. Right, okay. I will get the lyrics up for this because I do want to recite these because they are really fun. Rocky Raccoon. Now somewhere in the Black Mountain Hills, Dakota, lived a young boy named Rocky Raccoon. One day his woman ran off with another guy. Hit young Rocky in the eye. Rocky didn't like that, so I'm gonna get that boy. So one day he walked into town, booked himself in a local saloon. Rocky Racoon. I should really, I'd really get a guitar and just play it. I can't remember the chords though. Checked into his room, only to find Gideon's Bible. I don't know, but I'm scared to play it. I'm scared to play it for you, if I'm quite honest, because when I used to gig in Wales when I was in around college and stuff like that, I did a gig one night, and this was one of the songs I used to play, and generally it usually went down well. But it was this one night, I don't know whether I just wasn't thinking straight, and I hadn't tuned my guitar. I usually have it in a drop D standard. I used to have it in, and I just put a capo on the second fret, because I liked playing in a slightly lower timbre. I thought it suited my voice a bit better. Oh, it suited the what I needed with my voice, I suppose. But I think I just forgot to bring my my capo, or I put it too high, or something for the song. I played it. It was a pretty packed gig. It was, I don't know, maybe about 60 to 70 people in there. Maybe about 40 to 50. It was still enough. Quite a lot of people to be playing a song to. And I just couldn't get my vocal in the same key as what I was playing, in the same key as the guitar, and the whole song sounded awful. And it's not like I stopped and said, you know what, I've got this in the wrong key. Let's start again. Let me figure out what key I'm in. That would have been preferable. No, I did the whole damn song with my singing being in the wrong key, and it was brother. I mean, I finished and I kind of knew. I was sweating. I was a bit embarrassed. I thought, man, a couple of seconds away from the end of this song. How's it gonna go? I finished the song. Tumbleweed. No one made a damn sound, and it was just one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. And if I had a bit more confidence back then, I would have just stopped the song and started again. But even off the back of that, if I'd finished the song, I would have been able to try and save it with some bad joke and just say, you know what, I did that really bad, didn't I? And people would laugh and you get away with it then. But no, I was just super embarrassed and kind of just wanted to fade away into nothingness. What's that meme with a gif with Homer Simpson where he recedes into a bush? That was what I needed to do in that moment. But this song's real fun, isn't it? It's really good. It's just a really clever little song about like a cowboy, and he's made him a raccoon, and I like that. That's what I love about the picture. I have to try and find this picture on the internet for you. This is the picture. I'll get it up so you can look at it a little bit bigger. Rocky Raccoon illustration, I think I put up. Rocky Raccoon illustration. It has this picture here. Oh, I thought that was so cool. Rocky Raccoon. I'm on in Pinterest for some reason. I don't think I've ever been on this Pinterest before. Oh, I could have come on this, but look at that. That's an even better picture. Well, it's not. I mean, this is cool, isn't it? But that one's pretty cool as well. Okay, we're not here to go on Pinterest. People aren't interested in Pinterested in me doing that. But yeah, I thought that was a really smart picture. I wish I could have made this whole thing a little bigger. I'm a little confused. If anyone knows how to take out, well, I guess I jump around the internet quite a bit, don't I? So maybe I do need to keep it this size. But yeah, I love Rocky Raccoon. I think it's a great song. Really cool little story that's easy to follow. Now she and her man who called himself Dan are in the next room at the hoedown. Ringo has a little prosody in this. I think it's called as well. Prosody, I don't really know how you pronounce it, but Daniel was hot and drew his first shot, and when he goes shot, Ringo does a little hit on there. I think it's the snare, and it's to signify the shot. And it's not super interesting or groundbreaking, but it's a nice little bit. I think that's called a prosody. When something like that happens, when there's an instrumental element that's supposed to be directly linked to a piece of the lyricism or a piece of the storytelling. He said, "Danny boy, this is a showdown, and I'll be better soon as I am able." I just the chorus is so fun. Come on. You've got the like saloon piano. Alright, yeah, I'm seriously going to start incorporating my just instruments into this, because I think that'll make it a lot better, won't it, if I can actually play these things to you. Certainly will. So yeah, I'll do that. I think I've got to get set up then. I need to buy a desk or something I can do this on, because I'm currently just using like the dining table. I'm sat and you know, as I said previously, I'm using two bongos that are next to each other to hold the mic up. But you know, it's not good enough, is it? Not good enough. But you got to start somewhere, haven't you? You got to start somewhere. Unless you're Molly May Haig, and you just start right at the top, and you know. You know, but you still have to work hard. You know, you still have to use 24 hours in a day. Come on, I'm just jumping on the bandwagon here, aren't I? I'm going to stop talking about Molly May Haig, but it did upset me when I heard that, and so rightly so. This is why a lot of people got upset, because it's a silly thing to say. But Rocky Raccoon is one of the best songs on the album. It's very themed, you know, the way that he sings, the storytelling. The characters, the action, the instruments, the locations, in the lyrics. It's all very clever. It's all very themed, and it's just super fun. I love that song, and I think if we're gonna put it in here, I think it is better than "Happiness Is a Warm Gun." Or do I just prefer it more? No, I think it's a really unique song. I think it's better than "Happiness Is a Warm Gun." I think it's a really unique song. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'd maybe even put it at the top. Is there anything else on this album that will go above "While My Guitar Gently Weeps"? I feel like I'm putting that there because it's very Beatlesy. So it kind of deserves to be at the top of the Beatles album, Tearmaker. But this is a very good standalone song. But I mean, if we're talking, you know, we're rating the songs. Are we rating them against each other, or are we rating them in response to? You know, it's just you got to think about these things. Much to consider indeed. We'll leave it like that for now. But there are some songs on here that might be better than that. I'm gonna do this. I'm okay with this setup, I think. But maybe it's just because I love Rocky Raccoon so much. Right, you're just listening to me like arguing with myself here. Let's... we're on 1 minute 2, 1 minute 3. Alright, okay, so... yeah, I kind of dropped the video out somehow and sort of kept rambling on for about 20 minutes until I noticed. But we're back now. I thought... Well, when I noticed, I thought, oh damn it, what can I do here? Now I could either try and I could render what I've got already, or listen back to what I've got already and try and pick up where I left off and make it sound seamless, or I can just be honest with you and tell you how it went down. So yeah, I somehow dropped it all out disgracefully, made a huge mistake, but we're back again. And you know, I don't want to be doing like cuts between talking about things and trying to make it seem seamless, or you know, some people make videos and they go like jump from different bits, and I'll be talking and I go, Rocky Raccoon with that, and you can hear there's a different timbre in their voice, and you can hear that it's clearly jumped from one moment to another. I don't want to do that. I want it to be sort of conversational, and you know, I'll sit here and just talk constantly and aimlessly and sing for hours. So, and it will be hours today. It will be absolutely hours today because it's a long album. I think we're probably about halfway through what we need to be doing. I'm gonna have a bit of water and then we'll carry on. But yeah, Rocky Raccoon, should it be at the top? It's my favourite. It's probably the most, like, so far anyway, it's the most like well realised song. It's so unique onto itself. Like everything in it is so well themed and fits what it's trying to say. So I think it's just a great song, and I think it's the best song on the album so far. So maybe I will leave it at there. But as we always do, we'll do a synopsis at the end and think about it all. And what I also did when I was rambling on for ages is that I thought, oh, it's passed me by next, don't pass me by. And I was looking down here and I hadn't realised that I'd actually already popped it in. And I realised it wasn't here, and I was like, I didn't even get a damn picture for it. So I was just scrolling the internet for ages looking for this damn picture. I picked out a whole picture, was saving it, and this was all going to be part of the video. But then I thought, hold on, I was kind of almost thankful that I'd actually dropped the video out accidentally because we don't have to see all that nonsense now. But yeah, Don't Pass Me By is just rubbish. I mean, all I've put on the notes here is crap, good violin, rubbish lyrics. I think I wrote that. I can't read my writing barely, but yeah, it's just Ringo. It's just not a very good song. This is where I was trying to find pictures. I can hear your footsteps coming up the drive. I was trying to get some pictures of footsteps going up the drive. But let's get the lyrics for "Don't Pass Me By" up because they're just not good enough to be by lyrics. Ding 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 ding. I couldn't hear your footsteps. I don't like when it does it like this. Coming up the drive. On my old front door, I can't hear it. Does it mean you don't love me anymore? Don't pass me by. It's just a proper basic. Don't pass me by, don't make me cry, don't make me blue. Because darling, I love only you. You'll never know it hurt me so. I hate to see you go. Don't pass me by, don't make me cry. It's just simple. And I just don't think it's good enough. It's better. Is it? I think the song sounds better than Obla Di Obla, but that just doesn't. It just sounds silly. I just don't like it enough. But Don't Pass Me By at least has you can nod your head to it and you can move your foot to it, and the violins are kind of cool. But yeah, apart from that, I just don't think it's a good song. I think it's trash. Why don't we do it in the road? It took me ages to find a picture for this. So at first I was looking for pictures of girls that looked embarrassed. I mean, the very first thing I put in the damn internet was having sex in the road. I think I put on the internet. Just generally, I put a lot of stuff in the internet when I was looking for this picture that put me on a FBI watch list. But eventually I just thought, no, I just need to go for something a little less unusual. Okay, so at this point, Paul McCartney's written a song here about a blackbird already on the album. He's wrote a nice little song about an animal that he saw, a little blackbird. He's also wrote a song about a raccoon that's a cowboy, which again is a good one. That one, it's a good one. John Lennon writes a song about a monkey, me and my monkey. George Harrison's written about pigs. John Lennon's written about a tiger and some elephants. A lot of animals in this album. All relatively decent songs with lyrics about animals. This one, why don't we do it in the road, was inspired by Paul McCartney walking down on the sort of back dirt roads around this temple or whatnot. And he saw two monkeys having sex in the road. And as you would, being one of the greatest songwriters of the time and being in the biggest band of all time, you simply just say, I need to write a song about that. I need to make that song on the new album. And that's exactly what he does. Now, it's just trash, isn't it? It's worse than Obla Di Obla. And actually, it's worse than Wild Honey Pie. It's just not interesting. And so first of all, why would you write a song like that? Why would you think to and his reasoning for it, because I thought, when I saw that, I thought, surely that's not true. Simply can't be true. And it is. It is just he just saw these two monkeys. This monkey hopped on this monkey hopped on the back of another one and then had sex with her briefly for 10 seconds and hopped away. And then kind of acted confused when the female one turned around and said, "Oh, what was that?" And the other monkey was like, I mean, this is what recounted by Paul. This is what he said about it. The other monkey was like, "I don't know. What happened there? Is something wrong?" And pretended like nothing had happened. And then Paul was like, it's very simple, weird that they just procreate like that, and we make a whole thing out of it. As a theme, maybe you could make a song out of that. Maybe you could think, how are we different from animals? Maybe that would be a better song. Maybe that would be a better theme. Instead, he takes that that feeling, that thought he's taken from that moment there. Which again, the moment is nonsense. The moment is nonsense. But what he's taken away from it, with his thought process, is relatively kind of good idea, maybe. You know, how are we different from animals? How have we, evolution? And it's just strange, isn't it? It's a strange thing. And instead of, maybe putting a little bit of thought into it, he's just gone, well, I just write about what I saw. Why don't we do it in the road? No one will be watching us. Why don't we do it in the road? And, I mean, I like the melody, and I like the energy that he gives in the vocal. I just don't think the song is good enough, though. I just don't think it's a very good, thought-out song at all. And the thing is, without knowing the backstory, you just think it's Paul McCartney trying to be a sexy boy and going, and he's speaking to a girl in the song and going, why don't we have sex in the road? Because I'm a horny guy now. I'm the horny Beatle. I'm no longer the cute Beatle. I'm the horny Beatle. I'm the what do you call those guys? I'm the fuckboy Beatle. No, you're not, Paul. And that's how it comes across. I mean, that's how it came across when I listened to it. I thought, no, you're trying to be a fuckboy. And then he kept, he does it again anyway. He does it again. Recently, he released, it was his second to last album, or third to last album. So the last 3 albums he released were new. Egypt Station is the one I'm thinking of. And McCartney 3. And McCartney 3 is great. New has some pretty interesting stuff on it as well. Egypt Station I didn't like because not only has it got elements of dubstep and stuff like that on it, but it also he tries to be sexy, and he's an 80-year-old man now. I think he's got to be in his 80s or late 70s, and he's going, I just wanna fuck you, and it's just like, what are you doing? Are trying to show us your libido at such an old age. Oh, fair to you if you think you've still got it, but I am most certain that you don't. And please don't put it into your music, especially with dubstep in it. It's just there was so many things wrong with that piece of work that McCartney put out. But just generally, I think it's the worst song on the album. I think actually it'll probably end up staying there. Birthday is better. Revolution 9 is better. Yeah, it's gonna stay there. That is our final last rubbish song. That is the worst song on the album. It's better. I mean, Wild Honey Pie is better because at least it's interesting. There's been some time put into that instrumental, and it's got a kind of a cool sound. This doesn't sound cool. Well, I lie. It does sound cool, but I just don't like it, and I just don't think it's a good idea, and I don't think it comes off well. And this is what I mean about Paul. Is that Paul's got 3 songs here in slaps. He's got the most songs in slaps at the moment, and he also has the most songs in trash. Oh, he's such what an enigma. I didn't write a lot about this song, but it's a really nice song. I've picked a picture of him and Linda McCartney here. Now I think they'd met at this point, but I don't know whether they were together. But I just couldn't think of a way to illustrate "I Will" other than him with probably the girl you love the most, and the girl you most associate Paul McCartney with Linda McCartney. And I think it's a banger. I think it's better than Blackbird. We'll crack the lyrics up for that. I will lyrics. Skepta, perhaps. Sorry, you probably don't get the Skepta joke. In one of my other videos, the Beach Boys video, we come across some lyrics by Skepta when I was looking for something else, and we'll talk about that one. But who knows how long I've loved you? You know I love you still. Will I wait a lonely lifetime? If you want me to, I will. Really nice, isn't it? It's a really nice guitar, really nice lyrics. Actually reminds me a lot of what was the other one? Dear Prudence, actually, and maybe them two need to be close together. Possibly. Think about it. We'll think about it. It's just a nice little love song again. It's very Beatles, very Beatles. And you know, it maybe worth an idea picking out. Maybe at the end of this video, I might pick out some of these songs and go, "This should have been the album." Because when you look at some of these, it just kind of ruins it. But there are some songs on this album. Yeah, you know what I'll do at the end of this video? I'll make sure to do it at the end of this video. I'll write it down so I don't forget. I need a damn pen. No pens. Man, I've spent all day at work not being able to find a pen, and then I come home, try and do something, and I can't. Right, there's a pen. I get so annoyed so quickly. So I'm going to write at the back of the last sheet, make own version. A version of the White Album. Can you hear those sirens? Classic Manchester sirens in the background, man. Probably coming to arrest me for being an absolute lunatic in my flat, just like doing this. It's just singing into the void, talking into the void. It's very strange. It is very strange. Objectively quite a strange thing to be doing, but I'm enjoying it. And I hope you are too. Okay. I Will is really nice. We'll be doing our final synopsis of all this anyway later, so we'll think about it. We'll think about it later. But I do like I Will a lot. It's really nice. It's just classic, lovely little Beatles love song with really good instrumental, really good singing. Julia. That's it's an interesting one, Julia, because it's John Lennon writing about his mum, but also kind of writing about Yoko. Now, it sounds weird, doesn't it? Instinctively sounds a bit weird when you think about it. Like, he's writing about his lover and he's writing about his mum. But you just got to try and take yourself out of that mind frame, I think, and forget that these two people are, you know, related in different ways to John, and just think they're just both women that he has feelings for in different ways, and he's putting those feelings together to make one piece, and that's all it really is. And the reason that I have a stance on it like that is because I did something similar with one of my songs when I was writing songs years ago. But I did one that was about my sister and also about a girl that I was interested in, and they were just, again, it was about, you know, or a girl having trouble with, I suppose you'd say. But you know, it was just one of those things where I had sort of two different things to say to two different people, but they both kind of fit the same way. You know, I could say it I could say those two things in one way, and it could come across. And, you know, it just kind of helped with that process of writing the song, because you could pick from one thing and pick from another. You know, sometimes you don't have to take the songs too seriously. Sometimes you can just pick from one thing and pick from another and put it together and make something still thematically quite nice or emotionally quite nice. And yeah, I think that's what he does with this song. We'll jump on the lyrics here, but I assume I was going to say then, Julia. It's just about him missing his mum, and at the same time he's missing Yoko. And we were talking about Donovan and all the other people, Mia Farrow, who were on this thing. This is the part where Donovan was kind of involved. I think he might have been involved with a couple of other things, you know, because they all hung out and they all sort of wrote lyrics together and stuff. But this is one in particular where John said, you know, Donovan helped me a lot on these lyrics. Not that he sat there with him and did a lot of it, but I think the story goes that John Lennon was sat next to him and said, you know, I want to write this song about my mum. Was how it started. You know, and I kind of want to have this kind of childlike feel to it, because, you know, I was kind of a child when I remember it. You know, as we all know, John Lennon lost his mum quite young, and Donovan sort of imparted this piece of imparted to him and said, well, what do you think of when you imagine your mum? What jumps to mind? And John said that, you know, being on the beach and holding her hand and seeing pebbles or whatnot, and this is what Donovan was just said, you know, ocean child calls me, or windy smile calls me, seashell eyes, and John was like, oh, I see what you're doing there, and kind of ran with it. And you know, sleeping sands, silent cloud, they're just nice lyrics. And you know, kind of similar to Across the Universe, I think is one that he writes on the last album, Get Back, where he kind of just taking these words and popping them together. Floating sky is shimmering, her floating sky is shimmering, glimmering in the sun. I don't know, you know, maybe that moment with Donovan was kind of a thing for John Lennon, where he was like, hold on a minute, maybe I can do things like this with lyrics. Not that you hadn't done it previously, but you know, this song just feels so like different to what you'd usually get from John Lennon. But yeah, kind of he's missing his mum. He's thinking about his mum, and he's thinking about Yoko at the same time. He's missing her too, and he writes a song about it. And I think it's a nice song. I don't think it's one of the greatest songs on the album. Did I already put it in? No. So they're certainly above Piggies. I'd put it there. I think that's fair to put it there. Back here in the U.S.S.R. I think it's nice. I mean, yeah, for John, it's obviously quite an emotional song for him. But, you know, as far as it comes across on the album, you know, I Will's better. I think I Will's a better love song. And Bungalow. Bungalow Bill's a more interesting song, musically. So I think it goes above Piggies just because it's emotionally it holds more weight than Piggies. Piggies is just kind of a fun anti-establishment song, possibly about George Orwell, like we said before. But yeah, I think the list is looking okay for now. Dear Prudence, I really like it, but perhaps I Will is better. Yeah. Again, it's worth looking at these as we go along. But yeah, as I said before, I've wrote it down now. But by the end, when I finish this, I think I'm going to reconfigure this album and see what. Maybe have a think about how I would have preferred to see it. Now, this isn't something that's going to stick. This isn't something I'll always do on videos. But this is something that I certainly think is worth doing on this video, because the White Album's just, you know, there's so many good songs, but there's so many songs that just aren't up to standard. Okay, so we've done Julia. That's another page down. Man, I can't wait to... I mean, it's not like I can't wait to finish it, because I'm enjoying speaking about this stuff, but I just can't... can't wait to go to night-nightings. I can't wait to get into Betty Bows and get myself to off to sleep there like that. Birthday, pointless. It's no, it's your birthday. Yeah, this was written in just like a night, and it was just like Paul McCartney wanted to do a jam, and he just kind of jammed out a song, and he put the lyrics to it real quick. And just did it. I don't know whether I think Don't Pass Me By is better. It's just not. There's not enough time or effort put into it, is what I find. And this is what's wrong with the trash on this album, is that they're kind of. I mean, Ringo really doesn't. I mean, I think Ringo would have put time and effort into his song. It's just not. Okay, maybe I'll move Pass Me By up to filler. Yeah, because if that's how we're considering trash. It'd be unfair to say that Ringo didn't put time and effort in. He did. I bet he did put time and effort into a song. It's just not as good as a lot of the other songs. But these, I mean, Paul certainly put time and effort into his as well. But it's just not. It's just certainly just not a bad song. It's just a bad song. But that's all I've got to say about Birthday. What was the word I used before that I found on Wikipedia? Inconsequential. It's very inconsequential. It's good. It's just rubbish. I don't like it. You know, it's your birthday. I mean, it's a fun song. Don't get me wrong. It's not like it's like boring. It's just not worth it. It's just pointless. And you know, maybe it would have suited an earlier album, because it kind of I don't know. It would have fitted being on something. Not, you know, they're supposed to have this big grand scope. The White Album. It was going to be, you know, this great album. They've just gone away and done all their meditation and stuff, and we've come back and he's writing songs like Birthday. And why don't we do it in the road? Grow up, Paul. It's all Paul in trash. It's all Paul in trash so far. Now that I've pulled Ringo out. Yer Blues. Yeah, you're lonely. It's good, isn't it? It's I think it's probably here, because it's a parody. again, like back in the USSR was, it's not a parody of a song, but this is what I've read. So this is something that just researched this, but John Lennon's parody of the British blues boom, maybe is what I should say, which was just a lot of musicians in Britain or on the British music scene that were trying to do black American blues and not pulling it off, and they were using the tropes of that music, and just it wasn't coming across as well because there's a passion to the way that that black people do the blues, or that black musicians do the blues. And that, just white British males just didn't have it or weren't really getting it. And John went, you know what, I've heard enough of these posers. I'm gonna do my kind of own version of their version of black blues music. I think he's just trying to take the piss a little bit out of them, but it actually comes out as a really good song. And John Lennon's actually a really passionate singer and can pull these things off really well. So the song comes out really well, and it's a 4-minute song. So you're thinking, he's going into it as like, this is going to be a parody. I just want to do a little piss take of things. You end up doing a 4 minutes, 50-second song. You're not really doing a parody anymore. He's very much into it, and he's enjoying it. And I think he's found some sort of fun and enjoyment out of doing it for sure. And he's probably had a good time doing it. And I think it's a good song. I don't think it's filler. It's a good song and it fits. It fits really well in banger territory. So we're blasting through some of these now. Mother Nature's Son's one of the best songs on the albums. On the album. I mean, you'd be granted for calling them albums because there's a lot of them. There's a lot of music here. Mother Nature's Son. I'll have to show you the picture I found as well. Mother Nature's Son. Beatles. I'll show you the picture because it's really cool. I don't think you can see it well enough. I think maybe I put cartoon in or something like that. Although I could just get it up. It's in my folder. Mother Nature's Son. It was off the back of that. So that was the first one I found, and then I found there it is. Look at that. Isn't that a lovely piece of art? Deviant art. And when we look at the lyrics in a second, you'll see sort of what this all fits in really well. So who made this? Crumbly Gumbly. The lyrics are here. But we'll get the full lyrics. But it's a lovely picture, that, isn't it? I think it's a really cool illustration of what was probably happening in the moment there. Mother Nature's Son. Oh, that's the whole lyric. So yeah, it's quite. How long is that song? I remember it being much longer than that. Or does he just make it last long with instrumentals? So 2 minutes 48. It's pretty decently, pretty decent song length. Born a poor young country boy, Mother Nature's Son, boom, 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 boom. And already the instrumental's coming in. You got a bit of brass. I don't know whether it's brass straight away. It might be on the second verse. All day long I'm sitting singing songs for everyone. Boom, ba boom, boom, ba boom, boom, ba boom, boom. And it's just really nice. The lyrics are really nice. Swaying daisies, sing a lazy song beneath the sun. Sit beside the mountain stream, see your waters rise. He's speaking about nature really well, and that he is Mother Nature's son, and he feels part of the world. And this is what the transcendental meditation was supposed to be about. This is what they were supposed to be doing with it, coming up with these lovely songs. A little bit more out there, a little bit more thinking outside of the box and being in touch with different things. This is what they went there for, but instead they just went there and argued and came back really annoyed at each other. Mother Nature's Son's one of the most pleasant songs on the album, and I will put it above Martha My Dear, and probably above My Guitar Gently Weeps as well. Because I think this is what we wanted. When I say we as if I was living in the 60s and I was following the Beatles, but when, if you read about this before you're reading about the Beatles before they were doing this album, and they go, the Beatles are going for a 3-month retreat into the ashram Rishikesh, and they're going to be guided by the Maharishi yogi. You're thinking, man, they are going to come back and do some unbelievable stuff, and they do. They certainly do, and they also certainly don't. But this is the kind of thing that I wanted to. This is the kind of thing that I would have wanted to hear if I was following the band at that time, and I think it's really good. It's a really nice song. And actually, I'm going to learn it this week. Because it's such a pleasant song. And a lovely picture too. That picture is very cool. Oh, I can zoom in on it. Yeah, how great is that? I think that's really cool. Okay. What are we on next? I can't read my own handwriting. Oh, Monkey I've wrote, which I assume is everybody's got something to hide except for me and my monkey. It's a good song. It's better than Yer Blues. Doesn't hold as much weight as Julia, but it's more fun than Julia. The lyrics in Julia are nice though. I mean, we're talking here. We're going to go back slightly. We're talking here about John Lennon, Paul McCartney's "Mother Nature's Son." Julia has nice lyrics too, in the same kind of way. Does this belong to be lower? I think this belongs a bit lower down, and I think this belongs a bit higher up. I think that makes sense. Okay, so everybody's got something to hide except for me and my monkey. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, it's fun, isn't it? It's very fun. It's got a lot of energy. And it just moves really well. And it's got good. It's upbeat. It's cool. I mean, it's off the back of. Was that off the back of Mother Nature's Son? Sorry, because that's a bit of a. I don't think that should be directly after Mother Nature's Son. I think Mother Nature's Son is one of the best songs on the album as well. But I just don't think that should come off the back of that. It's a bit too. It's just too stark contrast, really, isn't it? Man, that's strange, isn't it? Yer Blues into Mother Nature's Son into Everybody's Got Something to Hide. So what you really ought to be doing is an Helter Skelter. These all just aren't working well together, are they? I mean, yeah. I mean, I agree with myself, I guess, because I've listened to this album and it doesn't feel like there's cohesion. That was my main thing with this album. There's no cohesion, and you look at this as a list of songs. Birthday, into Yer Blues, into Everybody's Got Something to Hide, into Helter Skelter would work. But no, you've got this Mother Nature's Son, which is such a nice, pleasant, calm acoustic song with a bit of a bit of brass, bit of orchestral stuff, into this kind of like upbeat, with electric guitar, exciting song. Back down a bit to something a bit more calm, into what was considered, as supposed to be the filthy song, the one where they're trying to recreate Pete Townsend. There's a Who song. Can't remember which one it is. They're they're not recreating it, but they're going, wow, that was a filthy, filthy riff. Let's do our own kind of thing like that. Into another really calm, introspective song by George Harrison, and it's no cohesion there at all. That's going to be the main point I think we take away from this is the cohesion. And I think that's the word I've been looking for throughout the whole video, is that there's not a lot of cohesion. But we're on me and my monkey. It's fun. It's not as original as Bungalow Bill. It's not as maybe well realised as Back in the U.S.S.R. I think I've got a weird one with this song because I just think it's such a great song and it's just really well done and it's very Beatles. Yeah, it does belong there. Julia is better. I think it holds more weight. Yeah, I think this is working. I think this is going okay. I think we need to start moving things from banger into slaps, really. I Will. Does it slap? Yeah. No. We've still got some songs to go. Okay, so the next one. Me and my monkey. The percussion's really good in that as well. That's one thing I did right. The percussion. If you listen to the song, there's some really cool sounds. When I say I'm saying percussion because I'd say drums if I didn't mean something else. Basically, the percussion is hitting those. I think they're hitting drugs. Drugs. Well, they're certainly hitting drugs, but they're hitting some sort of jugs or some weird stuff, and it's not necessarily an actual kit. Per se, I mean there is a drum kit in it in some aspects, but they're hitting different weird things. I'd have to listen to it, but I can't. I'm not allowed to without the video getting taken down. I don't think. But Sexy Sadie, I wanted to get to this one because there's a story behind it, and here he is. Marahashi, what have you done? It's up here for me. I think it's a slaps, and it's probably a bit to do with the story as well. As the as how the song sounds, but let's get it up. So, Sexy Sadie, I'll give you the brief lowdown about what this song is. I'm spelling that wrong, aren't I? This song is about the Marahashi yogi, who was supposed to be their sort of guide through the spiritual journey. And it'll be going well for a while until he made sexual advance on Mia Farrow. As far as the story goes, we don't spread misinformation on this channel, but this was a rumor at the ashram that a lot of people were behind, and were very much saying I can concur that that's something that happened, and I either saw it. Heard it from this person. I don't want to be the guy going out saying, the Marahashi, this very spiritual leader, has tried to not sexually assault, but made a sexual advance on one of the followers. It's not unheard of, is it? It's not unheard of for people with power like that to utilize it in that way. So it is very believable. It is a very believable story, and it was the thing that made the Beatles leave, and it was John Lennon that sort of instigated as soon as they'd heard that, said, well, I don't want anything to do with this guy anymore, dickhead, and decided to pack his bags and leave. And the original lyrics, so it was originally called Marahashi, and it was going to be, Marahashi, what have you done? You made a fool of everyone, la 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 la. Marahashi, what have you done? Marahashi, you broke. I'm gonna sing it as Marahashi. You broke the rules. You laid it down for all to see. You broke the rules. How does it go in this bit? You broke the rules. I can't remember how the chorus goes. Funnily enough, did you know the world is waiting just for you? I think this is the line though. I think it was like Marahashi. Who do you think you? However big you think you are. There was a line that was really horrible that John Lennon wrote and put, and George was like, "You kind of had to change that." I think it was like, Marahashi, you effing runt with a C. Which is a bit of a heavy use of language there for a Beatles song. And George Harrison said, "Can you change the song, not to be called Marahashi for a start, because we're gonna pull a bit of backlash off this if we release that song on the album. And also, can you take the swear words out because it's a bit heavy?" And so I think he came to his senses and she changed it around a bit, but he made a point of telling people no, this is what it's actually about. We gave her everything we owned. I don't remember how the chorus goes. I wish I could listen to it. But I think it's got a lot to it as a song. I think the instrumental's great, and I think the lyrics are really good as well. You made a fool of everyone. You laid it down for all to see, and it's kind of everyone was following him and believing in him and thinking this is a big journey we're all on together because of you, and he's kind of wrecked it for everyone, and they're all like, "Hey, you're a knob. What's wrong with you? Why have you done that? However big you think you are." It's really cool, and the way he sings it, he means it when he sings it. So I really like it. I think it's up there. Is that better than Prudence? No. Martha, my dear, is better than Prudence. I think we're looking okay here. I think this is good. I think this is a good tier list so far. I want to put Piggies higher because it sounds really. I think Piggies is better than Me and My Monkey. And because Yer Blues is supposed to be a parody, I can kind of put it down there. Maybe we'll drop these two into filler. We'll think about it. But there is some filler at the end anyway. So Sexy Sadie, allegedly, the Marahashi made a sexual advance on Mia Farrow. But, you know, it's enough for that. We don't spread misinformation. I don't want to be... Helter Skelter's good, isn't it? It's better than Your Blues. It's better than... I keep going to call that Peppa Pig. I think it is better than. It's a very original song, isn't it? Although it's not an original idea, you know. They took it. So the song I mentioned it before, but the actual song was "I Can See for Miles" by The Who, which I can't remember off the top of my head which one. A lot of the Who songs sound similar to me, which is bad. I know. I don't think I've ever listened to The Who enough to distinguish their songs from each other. But I mean, you know, it's something I'll have to do because if I'm doing these for age, if I'm going to keep doing these all the time, I'm going to have to start moving into different genres and different artists because I'm going to run out of Beatles albums, I'm going to run out of Simon & Garfunkel albums. So you know, I'll probably end up doing a Who album one day. So you know, I'll probably end up listening to it anyway. But yeah, the Helter Skelter's pretty cool. It is a proper filthy riff, isn't it? It's got very heavy, and the way it's like, and you can feel it in like your chest. When you get that song gone real loud, you can feel it in your chest how heavy it is, which is really cool. And then obviously the lyrics are just dead smart, dead clever about going up and down the Helter Skelter and how it was sort of. Works with people and with love and stuff like that. Yeah, it's funny. I think it's a cool little song. And on a side note, you know, Charles Manson's cult was kind of the race war or whatever it was based on this song. I had no idea. You know, Charles Manson's obviously just a psychopath guy, but yeah, I think he based like a lot of his beliefs. So he based his beliefs off the idea that it was going to be an interracial war. But he believed there was going to be an interracial war because it was prophesized in Helter Skelter. Blah. What are you talking about? Lunatic. But, you know, cult leader. And he got people to sort of believe in what is cause. You know, what's the Brian Jonestown Massacre stuff, man? That's heavy. I don't know how you can, you know, I think he was not a pastor. What are they called? It might be a pastor. You know, the people who go... who stand at the front of the church and then, by God, if I heal you tonight, I will make you walk again, Martha. And it's like, you know, he was one of those guys, the Brian Jonestown. Is that his name, Brian Jonestown? No, Brian Jonestown is the band. The Jonestown Massacre, again, way off here. Jonestown Massacre. Jonestown Massacre. I'm not going to read too into the Charles Manson stuff, but Jonestown was the agricultural project that was put together by... Man, what was his name? What was the leader called? He wasn't called Brian Jonestown, I can never tell you that. It was... so Leo Ryan was the guy that was killed. It's Jim Jones. Jim Jones, crazy pastor guy. Yeah, he just got people to come to this like place with him and then got them all to kill themselves. It's unprecedented. How do you convince people? You know, I suppose I don't know. It's kind of like you know, these people who followed him there were part of like a counterculture movement that didn't really know where to go. And you know, sometimes you latch onto things when you don't know what to do, and maybe that's what happened. But you know, I don't want to make any sort of assumptions because it's quite a heavy subject, really. But it's off the back of this whole Charles Manson race war thing. But if you didn't know any of that, I mean, you've learned something today. This is a little bit of what Charles Manson was about. But Helter Skelter's a cool song. It's really heavy. It's really smart. It's Cohesion again. Cohesion, though. Helter Skelter into Long, Long, Long. It's been a long, long, long time. And it's Long, Long, Long is such how badly I felt Sadie there. Long, Long, Long is such a cool song. And we were saying before about Mother Nature's Son being kind of the song you want to hear from the Beatles when they've come back from doing this meditation. This is the song. This is another one of those, alongside John Lennon's Julia. does Ringo have one? No, not really. Alongside Paul's as well. Alongside John's Julia as well. It's been a long, long, long time. And it's a bit of a strange one. I can't recite it really. I don't remember this bit at the end either. Righto, lads, suck it to me. Sounds a bit unusual. But yeah, I did a look at the lyrics. Gathering, jastering, glimmering, glittering, happening, hovering, humouring, hammering, whackering. I mean, I guess when you read it like that, maybe it's not that good. It kind of reminds me again of the Art Garfunkel song. A road, a street, a car, a bird. Kind of similar to that. But yeah, no, yeah, it's just kind of a nice kind of cosmic song. With nice words, and the instrumental's really nice as well. I mean, now that I remember listening to the song and thinking, I'll bring up the lyrics when I do the video, and I'm sure I'll find something really profound about it. Not really. Actually, it's quite simple. But the song itself sounds really nice, and if I'm gonna put it somewhere, I'll probably put it above Helter Skelter, below Julia. That works. Okay, we're gonna find out soon what happens when you get to the end here, because I haven't. Well, I don't even know what happens when you press these buttons either. So might wreck the whole video. Okay. Come on, man! I want to get to the end. Helter Skelter, we've done long. Revolution 1. We're talking about revolution. Well, you know, well, I want to change the world. I think it's here. And if that's the case, I think that's there. My guitar gently weeps has to be higher. I think it goes like that. Revolution's really cool. It's like there was unrest, I guess, in America and I think in Britain at the time when they were recording this album. So it was kind of just went along with it. I mentioned counterculture before when I didn't really know what I was talking about, but this is probably where I should have mentioned it. And I should have waited till this moment to say counterculture. But there's a counterculture happening here. There's a lot of drugs being taken. A lot of people sort of thinking outside the box and questioning their governments and questioning their just life in general and how we live. And I think this is the perfect song for it. And it just does it really well. John Lennon does it really well. I'll get the lyrics up. We're talking about revolution. Well, you know, we all want to change the world. But if you're carrying pictures of a charming mouth, you ain't gonna make it with anyone or anyhow. Doom doom, well, don't you know it's gonna be alright? Yeah, it's just fun, isn't it? It's really good. And it's something that you can, I can imagine at protests them going, whack on that Revolution one again, that's the song for us, that's the song we need here for this. So I think, John obviously after this moves a lot into movements and protesting and sort of trying to do this sort of stuff. So I think he's prophesized of what he was going to be doing later on in his career. It's a great song though. I think it deserves to be quite higher, but it's very recognisable from the album, which is another thing we really need to be taking into account here is how recognisable some of these are. Okay, and it's at this point I'm actually going to drop these down here. I know we were all very excited to see what happens once we. You know what? I won't deny it. Let's look at what happens when we hit the threshold here. Does it make them small? It just creates a new line. Okay, so in that case we'll keep everything in its place. You're not as good as Glass Onion. Keep everything in its place. Yer Blues, is it a banger? I don't know. Really, there are a lot of bangers on here. I will have to rejig this moving forward. I'll keep going to say the last song. It's the last one. Interestingly, Revolution 1 and Revolution 9 were actually just one whole song called Revolution. But I think, you know, the other band members told John probably best to split those two up, because you kind of dragging it on there when you do a really, really good song and then drag it down with this piece of nonsense. So they split it up and put it on two different bits, which was a good idea, because as a standalone song, that's really good. Honey pie, you are making me crazy. I'm in love, but I'm lazy. So won't you please come home? Honey pie, you were driving me frantic all across the Atlantic. Oh, won't you please come home? Bam, 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 bam. She was a working girl. I was just killing time until I could find the picture. I was looking for a pie. And I was thinking, I haven't put the picture in. You know, kill time, Jordan, kill time. Just keep singing. Across the USA, now she's hit the big time. And it was when I thought that, I was like, oh, it's the gramophone. In the USA. And if you could only hear me, this is what I'd say. We're moving this around a little bit. Honey pie, you are making me frantic all across the Atlantic. It's really cool. It's what Paul at his best. When Paul's at his best, he does good songs. When Paul's at his, I don't know, when Paul's not interested or just being a bit silly, comes up with trash. You know, he's top slaps here, Paul, and then top trash. But yeah, Honey Pie's well fun. It's very well themed. Again, it's like a Rocky Raccoon kind of thing, where I almost want to put it above Revolution, but I just think Revolution's such a good song, very recognisable. But Honey Pie's great, isn't it? It's like in a I don't know what would you say? It's the genre. It's kind of like a music, it's like a music hall sort of thing, isn't it? You know, just classic musical, you know, production, film, or whatever. It's really nice. Really, it comes across really well, and some of the lyrics are really great. And it's got that classic bit I was saying before that's in some of the other Paul McCartney songs on this album is the moving brass that just like boom, 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 boom. So it keeps it plodding along. I love stuff like that, and it's just a really fun one. I always put it on and I just have fun with that song. So I think it deserves to be in slaps. Every time I look at Rocky Raccoon at the top, I just feel like it doesn't belong there, but I just can't see anything else that belongs above it. Marahashi, what did you do? You made a fool of everyone. Savoy Truffles is filler. But it's probably the best filler. It's it's about George wrote this about so obviously, as we say, he's BFFs with Eric Clapton at this point, and Eric Clapton really likes these chocolates called Good News, McCoy's Good News chocolates. I think they're called. You know, again, it's like Paul McCartney looking at the monkey and going, "Oh, I just saw these two monkeys have sex for 10 seconds on the road. I'm going to write a song about it." George Harrison sat watching like a film or a documentary with Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton's eating some chocolates, and George goes, "Oh, you know, I have to write a song about that. There is every bone in my body is telling me to write a song about this," and I don't know. It's not bad. It's not a bad song, but it's just maybe I take lyrics too seriously. Maybe I take songs too seriously. It is fun, like it's a fun song, but I just don't get it. Cream tangerine, lemon, ginger sling with a pineapple heart. What? I mean, actually, in all fairness, if John Lennon wrote it, you'd be going, whoa, you know, this is kind of like Come Together, isn't it? So, well, that does make you think, doesn't it? Maybe. Because this is, when you're reading these, cool cherry cream and a nice apple tart. I feel your taste all the time we're apart. That's a funny line, actually. You know, as Eric Clapton misses his chocolate so much. Coconut fudge really blows down those blues. Actually, you know, now the more I'm looking at it, the more I kind of like it. We all know Obla Di Obla da. I don't know what that's about. After that Savoy Truffle. Actually, I kind of like it now that I'm looking at it. It's pretty funny, isn't it? It is pretty funny. Maybe it's not filler. It's actually better than the Pigs one. Actually, yeah, I'm going to move it. Okay, now that I've looked at the lyrics, it's actually quite a fun little song, isn't it, maybe? He pulls off this idea better than Paul pulled off his, doesn't he? Because Paul's just like, man, two monkeys are going at it, going to write a song. And it's got, I don't know, 13 words in it again. Kind of like, just rubbish. Whereas this, you know, he's actually having a bit of fun with it. Cream tangerine and a mandolin ginger sling with a pineapple heart. You know, he's talking about the chocolates and he's trying to make it fun. I actually kind of like it now. Talked myself into liking it. I think it's better than U.S.S.R. Right, we need to talk about this banger territory because this is all out of whack. Bungalow Bill is more unique than these two. That is better than this. And Good News. I just prefer Good News better than Helter Skelter, I think. I think this actually isn't as high as I originally thought. It's a nice song, but it's like, again, some of these are a bit better. I'm going to put it here. George has got a load of songs like real close to each other here. Yeah, but he's got one really high up too. He hasn't got any in here, which is good news. Okay, we're near the end. I can't believe it. Revolution 9 is it next? No, cry, baby, cry. I make your mother sigh. You ought to know better. And now cry, baby, cry. It's a nice sound, isn't it? It's a good song. I've wrote just look up the lyrics. So I will do indeed. Cry, baby, cry. Cry, baby, truffles. Cry, baby, cry. Make him outside. You ought to know better. So, baby, cry. I don't remember this little bit at the start. I don't really remember how this all goes though. That's all I remember is the cry, baby, cry. Make him outside. The Duchess of Crocality, always smiling, riding at the late for tea. Bow, bow, bow. The Duke was having problems with a message at the local bird and bee and down. Okay, so at least I remembered what the chorus was like. It's fun, isn't it? I think it had a good. It has a bit of brass in it, has a bit of this and that, and it's quite fun. Is it filler? Certainly not. It is a good song. So I'll put "Cry Baby Cry" here. This will be getting rejigged. I think it's okay. It's a nice song. I haven't said the bit I usually say. I'll say it now. If you disagree with anything I'm saying, please tell me. There is a lot to agree and disagree with on this tier list. And I would absolutely love to get in conversations with people about it because this is a very, very unusual album to speak about because it's so different. A lot of different things happen in the night, a lot of different themes, a lot of different levels of talent on some of these songs, and again, not a lot of cohesion. That's the main thing to take away. It's just all very different from each other. Revolution 9 is probably. Look, I'm not gonna leave it here. I'm just gonna put it there for now. But it's there's a lot of time and effort being put into this. song. It's not a song. Into this piece of sound, like audio, I guess you call it. Sorry, my nose. Into this piece of audio. And yes, it probably means something to John or something to the band, and it's you know, I just don't like it and I don't get it. I don't usually get things like this. And it might be because I'm not artsy enough and I don't have the brain cells for it maybe, but I just don't get it and I don't like it. You know, it's just a soundscape and it could belong somewhere. It just needs to be shorter. There's no need to have an 8-minute piece like this. Release it as it's on something else. And we're going to do this album anyway again, aren't we? In a minute, and it's certainly not going to be on it. But I don't know. I just don't think it needs to be here, and it's probably better than that. Just a new. But you know, that's for me as far as it goes. I just don't like this song. I think it's rubbish. It's just such a pointless song. And you know, we're saying that a Wild Honey Pie is inconsequential. This is more inconsequential. At least this is interesting. As is this. I mean, at least this is kind of interesting. This isn't. And that's all I've got to say about that. I really don't care for Revolution Number 9. Good night. Sleep tight. One of the better ones. And, you know, Ringo in for the win at the end here. I'm going to put it there. That song, right, it is such a shame that it comes off the back of Revolution Number 9. Because it leaves a bit of a bitter taste in your mouth, doesn't it? Because you've got this absolute piece of nonsense stuff that... To be quite honest, if I was listening to this album in the 60s, I just got the fresh vinyl for it and I was listening to it, I would have tuned out after the first 3 minutes of Revolution 9. I would have been like, that's the end of the album. They're obviously just doing weird stuff until they filled the deck, the tape recording machine. And I would have gone and done the dishes or something. And then, you know... To your surprise, Revolution 9 ends. You come back in and you're hearing the end of Good Night and you've just missed a beautiful song, quite frankly. Good Night is so good. And it sounds so nice. And I was confused. I thought it was a Paul McCartney song sung by Paul McCartney. You know, and I was... quite surprised when I found, you know, when I read into it, and so it was actually a John Lennon song sang by Ringo. So it's nice to have Ringo do another good song on an album. He had Octopus's Garden on Abbey Road, which I rated quite highly on my list, and he has this one on here. Although he didn't write it and doesn't have a writing credit for it, he sings it really well, and with a really nice timbre, a really nice voice, and the instrumentation is really good. You know, it's like a Hollywood, you know, kind of Disney kind of feel to it. It's just a really pleasant way to end the album, and that's where I'll be ending my album. The version of my album I'm going to put together with that. For sure. It's lovely, really good song. John Lennon wrote it for his son. It was like a lullaby for his son. He came into George Martin and said, "I want to do this song." And I want to make it sound really, really out there and really like like it's in a film, and like it's a big, you know, massive lullaby. And he put it at the end of the album where it belongs. Surely it belongs there. You know, it's Good Night to. And he says at the end of it, Ringo, he stops singing and he's like, good night everybody, good night everyone. Which is really nice, just like saying good night to everyone at the end of the album. It ends on such a nice positive note and like a nice positive, pleasant song. Revolution 9 just kind of ruins it for me. But there it is. Let's do our synopsis. I don't think I'm going to move many things around here. This video is getting on now. I think we're probably going to be... I mean, it's in 2 bits now. Maybe I should keep it as 2 bits, but... You know, because I dropped out the video at one point. But it's pretty long now. About 2 hour 10 probably, I think. Long, man. It's been a long... George Harrison. But yeah, I mean, look at it. Rocky Raccoon at the top, yeah. Happiness is a Warm Gun. Mother Nature's Son. Guitar Gently Weeps. Martha My Dear. Revolution 9. Oh come on, I'm struggling. I'm struggling. This is that's Martha My Dear. Silly girl. Very silly girl. This one's Across the USA. Honey pie, you are making me a good night. Dear Prudence, really nice song. All right, we've just said their names and actually spoke about them. Right, okay, so Rocky Raccoon's at the top. We're gonna leave it there. It's one of the it's probably the most realised song independently on this album. It's so well themed and so well put together. Everything that happens in that song and every part of that song fits really well. So that's why it is for me the best song on the album. Happiness is a Warm Gun is just a really simple idea, and it's made into a really cool song. It's like Come Together before Come Together, isn't it? Before Come Together's made. Really cool, really clever song. Yeah, I like it. Such a cool idea. Mother Nature's Son is kind of what we want to hear from the Beatles when we've gone to meditate for so long at the ashram Rishikesh with Maharishi. We want to hear more songs like this, and Paul McCartney sort of got it exactly right. He does it so right with that song. While My Guitar Gently Weeps is George Harrison really again coming into the fray and being like, tell you what, I'm more of a songwriter than you think, boys, and he's doing these really good songs, really good instrumentation, really good lyrics, and ideas as well. Silly Girl, Martha My Dear is a really fun song. We didn't look really much into the lyrics on that one because I don't think you need to. It's just a really fun one. That's what matters. Revolution 1, really good. I think this is all going quite well. Honey Pie is again really well themed, very similar to the Rocky Raccoon one, where everything he's done here really fits really well. But some of these songs are better and more unique, I think, than that. Good Night is a great end. Dear Prudence, and Ringo sings it so well. Ringo deserves to have a slaps here. Dear Prudence is really fun. Really pleasant. Sorry, not really fun. This one's really fun. This one's really pleasant. Marahashi, what have you done? About quite a serious issue that they had to face there at the ashram. And John Lennon's really, I think he puts it quite a lot. He puts his all into the song. It's really cool. I will I will Blackbird, really nice songs by Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney's such a beast on the album, and he's also such a bully, a nasty bully. Okay, we got I'm so tired and Julia. So we got two nice Paul ones, two nice John ones. I think that's three nice John ones. There we go. Buffalo Bill. I'm gonna put Buffalo Bill here. Now that I've looked at it and gone, no, it's very unique. I love Hey Buffalo Bill. It's a really cool idea, really fun idea. But maybe even above Blackbird, I'm not sure. Yeah, no, you know what? I'm gonna put it there. This is cause for argument here, but yeah, for sure. I think Buffalo Bill is a top banger. Okay, cool. Back in the U.S.S.R. and Helter Skelter are both, good rocking songs. That's a good opener. I will admit that's a really good opener. And then for that reason, I'm going to put it there. I think that makes sense. I think you do realise as you go through and think about it, is this better than that? Is this better than that? And I know it's hard to, can you really look at Julia and Back in the U.S.S.R. and actually pit them against each other and say which one's better? But I think you just have to use your gut. When it gets to this point, I'm just using my gut and saying which one do I prefer and which one do I think is better upon itself. Which one's more unique and which one fits here? That I could sit here for hours and hours and hours and hours and talk about why I think this one deserves to be better than this one on my tier list. But I think I just need to put it where it deserves. And then you tell me why you think it. You tell me why you think that one should be better than that one, and we can have a conversation about it. I'm talking too much as it is. Helter Skelter. It's cool, yeah. It's their attempt at another song, a version of a song that they've heard by someone else, and they've gone, we want to do something like that, and they pull it off really well. It's considered like like a grungy song, isn't it? The Chocolates one I really like now. The more that I've looked into it, it's really fun, isn't it? I think I'll leave where it is though. I think I will leave it there. And, the three George Harrison songs in a row kind of fit. You got a long, which is just a nice sounding song. It does sound quite, ethereal. But now that I looked at the lyrics, I was kind of like, it was funny because with these two in particular, I remember listening to it. And I remember listening to it the other day and not really paying attention to the lyrics, just sort of listening in. I remember writing about this or thinking about this. I need to get the lyrics up for this because this sounds really ethereal and really like meditative, and it's very George Harrison coming into his moment here. And then listening to this one and going, right, okay, it's a bit of a silly one. This is going to be in filler, and not really considering it at all. Because I'd read when I was listening to it. It's about Eric Clapton liking chocolate, and I thought, man, that's just stupid. But now that I've actually come to do the tier list, I was kind of like, the lyrics on this are a bit rubbish, but the instrumental's okay. And on this one, I was like, oh my god, the lyrics are great. They're great because like I was saying before, you're thinking of John Lennon's Come Together. Here come on flat top, here come grooving up slowly. He got, and then George Harrison's out here doing pretty much the same thing. They're just speaking about these, a great apple tart with an orange in there, and it's just like about these chocolates. It's funny. It is funny, and I kind of almost want to put it above Helter Skelter, but Helter Skelter is very unique, and it's a very recognisable song by the Beatles, actually, so I think I have to keep it down here. I know a lot of people probably disagree with me that Helter Skelter is being so low, because it's very recognisable from the album. Tell me if you disagree. Little Piggies, yeah, it's baroque, it's fun. I'm going to put it there. I'm going to put it above this. I think it's got better musicianship. Yeah, it does. Okay, cool. I'm happy with that. I want it to be behind the chocolates one because I'm actually the more I look at this picture and the more I think about the chocolate song Savoy Truffle, I really enjoy it. I will come back to this because I might move it higher. I might move it up here somewhere. No, I want to. I really want to because I like it. Honestly, I'm going to put it here. It's just a really cool song. I've got it in my head and I'm thinking about it, and it's not only the lyrics but the instrumental. The guitar's really fun, and there's some it's like some brassy stuff, and I just remember it being so cool. It's good. Okay, cool. All right, we're gonna do that. We're gonna stop moving. Good, it's gonna be up here soon. It'll be like, that's the thing. It's the song on the album. It's the best song on the album, and it's nothing without this song. That's where we're gonna end up if I carry on. Okay. Oh, I'm getting tired now. Nearly 11, man. Nearly 11. Cry, baby, cry. Make your mother sigh. I think it's good. It's certainly not a filler. It's a good song in its own right. It doesn't stand out to me. That's what I mean. I was trying to recite it before, and if I can't recite it, then there mustn't be something that particularly special about it. These are all fillers. This was a parody song. It still comes out quite well. I don't know. I think Yer Blues does deserve to be up here. Actually, I think it's unfair to put Yer Blues down there, and if it is up here, it's definitely going above Cry Baby Cry. And the lyrics are really good in that because it is tropey. I don't know whether that's a word at all, but the point of the song is to take these tropes of blues music that British blues musicians were taken for granted and not doing very well. But he takes them and does them actually really well. He does it with a lot of passion, and it actually comes off as a good blues song by a white British musician. And I think this is the whole point of it. Now, maybe this was all conjecture, and I have no idea what I'm talking about. But this is how I've read into this, and this is what I've taken from it. The more I've spoke about it, that it started as a parody, but he actually got really into it and has actually pulled off what the parody was supposed to be about. In the first place, so I think it's an interesting song, for sure. If I could listen to the songs while I was doing this, I bet this tier list would be so different. Okay, Me and My Monkey, it's a fun song, but it doesn't really add much. I don't think it's just kind of fun, and I don't remember it being that long either. We'll check it if it's less than 2 minutes long. Come on, come on. It's just over 2 minutes. We'll leave it there. Glass Onion, yeah, again, bit of fun that one, isn't it? It is filler, and then this one as well. I can hear your footsteps coming up the drive. Obla Di Obla, trash. It's like Paul McCartney's just going too far, isn't he? And he's just trying to make this like song, and I've been there where you get too carried away. with something and you end up making it shit. That is basically all I can say about that. He's taken this song, and I bet he put far more hours into this than he maybe did with, like, say, Rocky Raccoon. And Rocky Raccoon comes out so well because it's just such a good idea in the first place, whereas this just isn't. It's just like he's trying to tell this rubbish story and trying to be like silly and funny with it. It's just rubbish. Simon & Garfunkel would have done it better. I think that's the point I made earlier. I don't know that for sure, but I imagine if they did. Yeah, why don't we just have a quick look? Simon and Garfunkel. Obla Di Obla. Well, that is a search thing that you can do. The sing-song melody is based on the Beatles' Obla Di Obla. Why don't you get a job? Who sings that? Started playing. Okay, so I don't know what this. I'm just going to quickly look at what this is. The sort of song facts. Why don't you get a job by Americana? This is nothing. This is nothing that I wanted to look at. Okay, yeah, a birthday, pointless. It's got a better instrumental than this. Wild Honey Pie, at least. Wild Honey Pie is interesting, but it's literally, as we said, as I read that word, it's hilarious. I'm going to start using this word as part of the part of the channel because I like it. Inconsequential. Very inconsequential song. Birthday isn't completely inconsequential, but it's just not worth being made, really, in my opinion. And then we've got Revolution 9, which is just annoying that it's so long, first of all, and that it kind of ruins Good Night for everyone. And then Why Don't We Do It in the Road? Which is bum. Absolute bum. Okay, that's the end. That's the end of the day maker. And what we'll quickly do is make our own version of the album. So we'll do side A. Oh, side A. Oh my life, side A. And side B. And I don't know, it'd probably best to try and split these up. We'll start throwing stuff in there. So I think at the start we still want Back in the U.S.S.R. What we'll do is we'll start with big songs, big rock songs, and then maybe take it down halfway through at side A and go into side B with maybe one of the nicer, quieter songs, and then end on like a high maybe. I think we end on Revolution for sure, or maybe start on Revolution. We'll start with U.S.S.R. Back in the U.S.S.R. So that's number one. That for me would then go into Helter Skelter. Because that is, one of the like crazier ones where you think, whoa, imagine that as the second song. U.S.S.R. is already like really good. And then it goes into Helter Skelter, you'd be like, wow, that's crazy, what? And then I'd take it actually into Savoy Truffle then. I think that's really cool. Because then you're taking it down a little bit. It's a less rocky song, and we're moving away now from the heaviness into maybe something a bit more silly. And that's when you could go off the back of Savoy Truffle. I'd probably go into. I think I'd do Sexy Sadie next. I think that's cool. It's got a bit of energy, but it's just taking it down a little bit. And then off the back of Sexy Sadie, I'd go into Julia. I think works. Into. And I think I'd have Mother Nature's Son and Rocky Raccoon next to each other. I'd have Mother Nature's Son here. Mother Nature's Son. Into Rocky Raccoon. Or maybe Rocky Raccoon and Bungalow Bill could be next to each other, because they're kind of similar in like the storytelling and like the theming of like upon themselves as being very clever and unusual songs. Mother Nature's Son. So we've done U.S.S.R. Helter Skelter. What comes after Mother Nature's Son here? Mother Nature's Son. I'd maybe even consider putting maybe Cry Baby Cry after that, or no, I mean, I'll tell you what, Dear Prudence would work after that really well, actually. Dear Prudence. We've got these sort of three songs, the ones we were saying before. We want to hear from the Beatles after they've meditated. These are the ones we were kind of looking for, and Sexy Sadie too. Although I never liked the name Sexy Sadie. I think you could have tried better to come up with a replacement for Marahashi. Um, that would then go into. I think you need to start bringing it up again then. So I think you go. Well, no, Dear Prudence is quite fun actually. I think you do Dear Prudence into. I think Yer Blues and Revolution are at the end. So I'm just gonna pop them down here, actually already. So Yer Blues, Revolution, 1. I almost want to put Mother Nature Son at the end as kind of like the send off. Well, no, actually, the send off is Good Night, isn't it? Good night, sleep tight. I'm gonna do while my guitar gently weeps into. It was Happiness, wasn't it? Happiness is a Warm Gun. This Honey Pie is the start of sound of side B. Honey Pie, you are driving me crazy. I know, but I'm lazy. Won't you please come home? Okay, Happiness is a Warm Gun. And I think Blackbird is the end of that side. Honey Pie into. We've done Savoy Truffle. Bungalow Bill. Honey Pie into Rocky Racoon. Into Bungalow Bill. Hey, Bungalow Bill, what did you kill? Bungalow Bill. Hey, Bungalow Bill. So all we've got really left, we can put Piggies after that then. And this is just kind of like the start of side B is going to be everyone's very unique, weird ones. So which means I'm so tired, she'll probably come after Cry Baby Try. And I'm just going to get a bit more normal towards the end. I'm so tired. I'm feeling so upset. I'm so tired. So now we're up to, okay, so we count where we're at. 12, 30. Oh, wow, what a long one. Hey, tell you what though, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed doing this one again. Not again, I've enjoyed doing another tier list. And I hope you have sat through this, man. I can't imagine you have, but I might split this into 3 parts or 2 or 4, side A, side B. Side C, side D. But what an absolute slodge trying to get through this, man. It's a long one. But, I tried to have a bit of a laugh with it, and I tried to have fun. And I think I went through some peaks and troughs in this video, where there were some points where I felt energized. There were some points where I felt like I was going to pass out. I don't know. I'll listen back. Certainly not tonight because I'll have to go to bed. But I'll listen back and see how it is, and probably upload it. I'd like to upload it as one part because, then I've got like a 2.5-hour video on the channel, and people are like, "Whoa, this guy's crazy." But then I maybe, to be fair, an hour and a half of it is just me rambling about absolute nonsense. Maybe you find that funny, maybe you don't. But yeah, as usual, like and subscribe for me, because I've only got 3 subscribers, and one of them's me, my other channel, one of them's my mum, and one of them's my friend. So the first stranger to subscribe, can help me decide my tier list. We'll keep it 60s because 60/70s because that's kind of what I know about more. But I will move into other stuff as we keep doing this. But yeah, the first person that subscribes and leaves a comment and says, I've come upon this and I like your style, and we can have a discussion and you can help me pick the next tier list. Because you're only going to like the same music as me anyway if you're watching these videos. So that's it. I'm glad you've been here. This was a fun one. I wish I hadn't been at work all day. I was quite tired when I started, but I'm not tired now. That's the problem. I've got full of energy now. So thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe, and have a good evening tonight. Have a good day tomorrow. and I'll see you on the next one. I don't know what the next one's going to be. I've not thought that far ahead now. I'll leave it a surprise. I won't throw any ideas out there. We'll see. All right. See you later.